Hey folks, this is Vincent Vinny Jr. with Dad's Gaming Addiction, and today we're going to talk a little bit of D&D. So, out of nowhere, my son expressed an interest in Dungeons and Dragons. So we had about an hour of conversation. I talked to him about initiative and the different classes and how combat works and everything. And mind you, I'm still relatively new to this. So we got to talk, and I'm like, we actually lost a party member going into this new campaign that we're about to do, Storm King's Thunder. And I said, you know what, maybe we can ask our GM to see if he would be willing to have Vinny, play a character. So I actually messaged my DM, Nick, and we talked for a little bit, and we're going to check with the rest of the party, so this isn't set in stone. But we're preparing now, just in case everyone says yes. We're preparing and sort of creating a character for him now. We're not going to do the character sheet tonight because he's still needs to get the invite, but we went ahead and went to other websites to sort of prepare for everything that the character sheet is going to need. And this is his first time playing D&D, so I'm actually kind of excited for this. He's completely new to it, and I'm still a newbie, but based on what I've learned, we had a lot of fun tonight sitting down here and figuring things out. Yeah, so what we're going to do, I'm just going to briefly take you through the class that he picked and the attributes and the background and the skills that he chose and why. So let's just go ahead and jump into the actual book. So it was a choice of either a rogue or a druid. Now, because our first session is in, I want to say 12 hours, setting up a druid is apparently a lot harder in Roll20. So we went with a rogue, so it's easier to set up for tomorrow morning. And I think he likes the idea of the rogue anyway. The rogue being a class that sneaks in there, does a ton of damage and gets out, or is able to talk his way past people or pick locks or lie, cheat, steal. Vinny seemed to really be interested in that class. He likes those sneaky classes that get in there and do a bunch of damage, and then so the rogue is as close as you're gonna get. And I was looking at it. I've never seen the rogue in action before. Our party does not have a rogue, so I was learning about this as I was setting up his character sheet, or at least setting up various things for him, and it was interesting to say the least. Now, we're starting this campaign at level 5, so not only is he a newbie, but we're thrusting him to a level 5 character, so he's going to be a little bit overwhelmed.
I'm having a general understanding of it, but it's going to take some time.
It's going to take some time, obviously, but so we're going to quickly go over what we picked. Apparently, the rogue, by the way, is more of a dexterity / constitution character. Also some charisma in there for various things, because again, the rogue is sneaky, likes to talk to people. And depending on what you pick, you can actually disguise yourself as different people and pretend to be them. It's all really cool. So yeah, we were looking through all of this just to see if the rogue would be ideal for him, and absolutely. He's going to get something called Sneak Attack right away at the first level. He's going to get Thieves' Cant, which is just like a secret language that thieves have, or at least anyone with the Thieves' Cant knowledge has. They can hide messages in normal conversation. That's kind of cool. They also get the Cunning action, which is you can get a bonus action. I'm paraphrasing, but you can do like dash, disengage, or hide. So in theory, you could get into combat, like get up close to someone, stabby, right? And then use your bonus action to disengage and then get away from that same person so that you don't take opportunity. As you folks probably know, whenever you walk away from an enemy and it has not used its bonus action yet, typically they get an opportunity strike against whoever's moving out of their range. Well, with the rogue's bonus action, they can take the disengage, get out of there without taking any damage. So get in there, stabby, get out. That's really cool. The rogue can also choose between 3 subclasses or an archetype: Thief, Assassin, and Arcane Trickster. The Thief is more stealing things. The Assassin's more like stabby, kill. And then Arcane Trickster is magic. So he wanted to be the assassin. So he's probably going to set that up as the assassin. And At 5th level, he gets something called Uncanny Dodge. When an attacker that you can see hits you with an attack, you can use your reaction to have the attack's damage against you. So he'll be able to use reaction to help with that. I'm guessing it's like a bonus action, probably. I don't know what reaction is. Again, I'm still new to D&D, but I'm guessing it's like a bonus action or equivalent to a bonus action. So he gets some other cool things later on. We're not going to get into that. But yeah, as the assassin, he's going to get Assassinate, which means you have advantage on attack rolls against any creature that has not taken a turn in combat yet. In addition, any hit you score against a creature that is surprised is a critical hit. So it's similar to what I have. I have a skill that if the enemy has not taken a turn yet, I get automatic advantage on my attack. So he's got this Assassinate is something similar to that.
I think,
but if he's surprised, you get critical. I don't have that.
I think that's meant. I think surprise is probably like someone else being attacked, and then I surprise behind.
Or yeah, if they don't see you coming, that's a surprise. You know what I mean? I'm guessing. So yeah, so you could, in theory, you've got hide skills too. The ability. We'll get into racial stuff in a little bit, but the thief typically is going to hide or get out of there and then come out of the shadows swinging. And then with a surprise attack with this Assassinate, do even more bonus damage. At 9th level, we get something called Infiltration Expertise. So you can actually create identities for yourself. Not of another character that exists, but just a made-up character. Imposter at 13th level does let you become someone else or mimic their behavior, but you have to study behavior from that character. It looks really cool. Death Strike at level 17, double damage, I think it is, or something like double the damage of your attack against the creature on a failed save. There's more to it than that, but yeah, level 17 at that point. Hopefully his rogue survives that long.
But that sounds broken.
Yeah, so that goes into the rogue. We were looking into creating his points, and this is what I came up with. Whether or not it's ideal, as a rogue, I would think dexterity, constitution, and charisma would be the primary focus. Dexterity is that's something my ranger uses, and I'm sure his rogue would.
I could maybe see intelligence, because I think probably intelligence you need like for lockpicking.
See, intelligence to me though would only be useful with magic, and since you're not using arcane trickery as your archetype, intelligence really wouldn't matter to you.
I don't know what in like lockpicking would consider.
Lockpicking is more dexterity.
Oh, okay.
I would think. I'm pretty sure anything lockpicking is dexterity. Because think of it, dexterity is like your ability to be nimble, quick, and use your hands, sleight of hand. With lockpicking, you think dexterity would be something.
I would also think intelligence, because like you need to actually understand how to do it in the first place.
That's not how D&D works, unfortunately. Intelligence in this case would not be that. Intelligence more magic. Intelligence typically modifies magic damage. But yeah, dexterity is what you want. Dexterity, constitution for health, and charisma. And just to make sure that we're sort of good on that, we did look at another website where,
Races.
There's a guide that I came across. It's really helpful. What race to pick. So we went with a wood elf. Wood elves are your stereotypical choice for rogues. Everything here is useful. Wisdom for perception, longbow proficiency, higher than average walking speed, and the ability to hide in nature, which is something a rogue would want to do. This is the Skyrim stealth archer come to life, and I am the Skyrim stealth archer in Skyrim, so I love that. The human, of course, gets a flat bonus to everything, but that's what we're going to.
Elves would probably be better,
right? So we're going, and they also get +2 to dexterity, dark vision, proficiency, and perception,
which is what my class is built around.
Right. So that's cool. So we went with that. So 10, 14, 14, 10, 10, 14. Racial traits. There's a lot here, so I'm not going to get into that. But the ability, having Fey ancestry is nice. Advantage on saving throws against being charmed, and magic cannot put you to sleep. You read and write English, or common, I should say, and Elvish. Dexterity increases by 2, which is what he wants.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a lot of good things here. Walking speed is 30 feet, but with that one...
And medium
with
size.
your wood elf, it increases to 35, which is
It's
nice.
also medium size, which is pretty decent. I mean, it's not small, but it's medium size. So It should be a lot more easy to hide.
Yep. Backgrounds. There's a ton of backgrounds. Based on this website, we were looking at criminal. Proficiency with stealth and deception can help your ability to sneak around and lie, which is right up the rogue's alley. The thieves' tool's proficiency is redundant. So this criminal, the ability to sneak around, I'm going to check with Nick tomorrow just to make sure that criminal is decent for him, but criminal seems to be something good to have. And oh yeah, the ability scores right here. Dexterity. Rogues love dexterity. You want to get this to 20. Constitution. More hit points and better constitution saves make the rogue less squishy. And then charisma is the next one. Rogues can be good character for charisma if skill checks if needed by your party. Intelligent. Here's your answer. Don't worry about intellect unless you're playing an arcane trickster.
Oh, okay.
So there's your answer. You're playing an assassin, so you don't need to worry about that. It's also rogues get 4 skills. So
Plus the ones that you already get.
right. So we chose stealth. So you get probably a bonus to stealth rolls is what you get with that. Persuasion makes you better at social checks, interactions. Perception, so that you can look around and see what's going on. And then athletics. Rogues are constantly seeking an advantage over their opponents. Being able to climb is one of the best ways to get this advantage. Right. So we're going to go with those 4 skills. That seems to be the most helpful.
And the bottom has 3 skills, apparently.
Yeah, these are things that you get automatic. Right. Expertise, sneak attack, and thieves can't, which we already talked about. But rogues are proficient in many skills. They can either double their proficiency bonus for 2 skills or a combination of 1 skill and their thieves tool. Failing checks with those skills will be much less common. So you'll be able to pass those checks pretty easily. You also get the sneak attack. The damage scales as you level up, ensuring that the rogue's main source of damage will always be relevant. So your sneak attack ability will just increase as you continue leveling. And again, you get cunning action at level 2. You can pick assassin at level 3. Since you're coming in at level 5, you're going to get all these things automatically. Yeah. So this is going to help you and Nick and myself tomorrow when we're setting up your actual character sheet in the game. And again, this is what mine looks like, but you're going to have something similar. You don't have to make a backstory if you don't want to. I really didn't focus on a backstory. I just wrote a quick paragraph saying, where I came from and how I behave typically.
Is that how?
You don't have to, but you can if you want.
What is that a thing? Like, can you be like mysterious?
You could. You can be anything you want. You can create any kind of character you want.
Okay. I was thinking I could be more mysterious.
All right, if you want.
Like it's like someone who isn't very like who doesn't.
Well, it would fit with the party because no one knows you. Personally. Or your character in D&D yet. So you could just come out of the shadows and be like, I'll join you or whatever, all mysterious like if you wanted to be. And
that's what rogues would kind of be, mysterious.
Well, yeah. They're sneaky, so you could do that. Totally, you could do that. There may be some other things that you may have to set up in your wizard. I'm trying to think. There's a couple of other things I had to pick. Personality traits. These are things I copy and pasted from the manual. Ideals, bonds, flaws. The book will give you a list of things to copy paste. We'll get there when we get there tomorrow. Yeah. But that's another thing we'll have to fill in. But for the most part, I think we got everything in hand. So, folks, be on the lookout. Possibly, if the group allows it, Vinny will be joining our party in D&D. It'll be fun, I think.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking the reason I think me picking Rogue over like whatever class it was.
Druid,
yeah. I thought Rogue would fit a little bit better with, especially what my dad was explaining to me what classes everyone is. I can't speak English.
Yeah, warrior. There's Druid. There's Rogue. There's Warlock, Wizard. There's all sorts of classes.
Since I like in a group, right? They're in your like personal group, whatever.
Yeah, we have it. We have a warrior who's very tanky. We have we have a possible healer. We don't know if she's going to be in the group still or not. We have a ranged damage dealer.
Yeah.
Idly is the bard. She can do healing. Sunset is another ranged dealer. So having a melee stealthy.
That's what I was thinking, because the way your class is built, you don't have like someone who's like specifically designed for the melee combat, which is what rogues are good at.
Yep.
What I was also thinking is the way is Idly, right? Idly's class likes to enchant other people, and since she doesn't really have anyone to really enchant other than the rangers,
she has a skill called Bardic Inspiration, and when she casts that on you, you get a free roll, a d6 roll, on any check that you do. So let's say that you try to hit somebody and you roll a 10, and you're not sure if 10 is going to be high enough to hit them based on their armor. If their armor class is 12, you don't know that. But let's say their armor class is 12 and you roll a 10, and you're like, I don't think 10's going to be high enough. I'm going to use Bardic Inspiration that Idly gave me. You roll a d6, you roll a 5, your 10 becomes a 15, and you go, okay, 15 is my new roll. Nick goes, okay, that's high enough now. Go ahead and do damage.
Okay.
So Bardic Inspiration may help you.
I was thinking, like, because doesn't Idly enchant others to, like,
she
can give, like, potions and stuff?
She can heal. She can also put enemies to sleep. She can cast Hideous Laughter, which makes them roll on the floor laughing for a long time. She can charm people and make them like her. She can do lots of different things.
Who's the person who can, like, do poison stuff?
That would be you. I mean,
like, the person who can give poison to other people in order to, like, put them on their blade.
I can do that. I have a skill that I took called Detect Poison and Disease. And if I'm not in combat, I can go to Nick. I want to spend 10 minutes to look around and get herbs, and then I roll to see if I find any.
Yeah.
If I do, I bring back some herbs. I can coat a couple of arrows, or I can maybe coat poison on someone's blade and give them poison damage for the next hour.
Be good about that.
Yeah, you could put poison on your daggers or something.
I was thinking, because the rogue probably, I think, would be flexible in the group, especially since we would not have a heavy melee fighter, and it can help with the other support.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
And with the way the tank is, you got a main warrior who's more of a tank, and a lot more tanky. So the rogue can be like let's say the warrior. Let's say you're fighting a boss, for example. The tank goes for the boss, and then the rogue sneaks behind and gets the surprise, which is good for the rogue.
You also
to do major damage.
You also are gonna get some skills that help you hide. And get away. So there'll be whenever an enemy, let's say an enemy is next to 3 of us, Nick typically either picks the tank or rolls to see which one it hits. So like you might be 1, the tank might be 2, and then I might be 3 or whatever. He rolls the die. If he rolls a 3, the thing attacks me. Sometimes you get unlucky and
might attack me first.
Or you get unlucky and they still hit you regardless because they rolled really high. Sometimes I just want to warn you, D&D is RNG. It's RNG, it's you're going to get lucky sometimes and very unlucky sometimes. And you just have to roll with those punches. In the first video of our first campaign, the Lost Mines of Phandelver, I think I missed every single shot. Every single shot I missed. I was a stormtrooper for 2 hours. I missed
That sounds so realistic.
If you watch the first video, you'll see that I missed like every shot. But later on, as I leveled up, I became this killing machine. I was knocking things out.
I'll already be leveled up, so most likely I'll be.
Still, you're.
I'm gonna be more fragile.
You have leather armor, so you're gonna be squishy.
Yeah,
but
until I get better armor, which I don't know what the armor is because I don't know what the armor does. Like heavy
armor gives you a base number that enemies have to roll higher than in order to hit you. So, for example,
if you have heavy armor on.
Let's say you're a warrior and you can wear heavy armor.
Yeah.
Brian is the tank.
Yeah.
He's our warrior. His armor class, his heavy armor is like 19 plus 2 or 3 from modified. He's got like a number of 22. and a die 1 through 20. So the only way he's gonna get hit is if the enemy rolls a really high number and then adds a modifier to it to make it like 23, or does magic damage. Like in the last video, like nothing could hit him except for magic damage. That's how tanky he was.
Sounds good.
Here's the thing though. If you try to wear heavy armor and you can't, you get a penalty to dexterity. Well, if you wear heavy armor, you get a penalty to dexterity.
Yeah, which is
that's the problem with, like, I do not wear heavy armor
for that reason.
because I am capped.
I don't know how much Rogue has for cap.
Let's say that your dexterity is 18 or whatever, or your dexterity modifier is +4 on everything. If you wear heavy armor, your dexterity modifier, no matter what your number is, no matter how much your dexterity, no matter how high it is, your modifier will be capped at 1 or 0.
Yeah.
So you will lose all of your dexterity bonuses by wearing heavy armor.
Yeah.
So typically, you want to wear
light armor.
You want to wear armor that's heavy enough to where you do not get penalized,
but strong, but light enough. It's light enough so you can move around.
Light enough so that so you can move around and not get that penalty, but also heavy enough so that your armor class is still somewhat high and then you're not squishy.
I don't know what armor classes there are.
Well, on my character sheet, I have something called studded leather armor. Here's mine. I have studded leather armor, and my armor class is 16. So I think that the studded leather armor is 16. And you're probably going to be wearing leather armor when you first create a character. It's here somewhere, starting stuff.
Yeah, I'll wear leather armor.
Armor is light armor. You get to pick starting equipment. Leather armor. So you don't get studded. Studded is a little bit better. I think studded leather is 16. I think leather might be a 15 armor class or something like that.
So that's still decent.
So you're going to start with like 14 or 15 armor class. And then
that's not that bad.
With like studded leather, there are items in the game that will be armor +1 or daggers +1. And what that does is that gives you a bonus to hit or bonus damage or whatever. There's actually like a huge list of things that you can buy in this game. Like you can visit shops, and there's a huge shopping list. Okay. So, things are expensive, I want to warn you, but it would take time. Like there's items in this game that cost 10,000 gold pieces or more.
Yeah,
it's ridiculous.
But it's be good for like saving them up for like an item that I probably would need.
Right. There's also magical items that you can find. On my character sheet,
rogues.
There's actually, we got some magical items here. Here's my Battle Forged.
What does that do?
Once per combat, when Saberwolf, it's a magical amulet. When Saberwolf sees a creature deal damage to any party member, he regains an expended first level spell slot. So, I didn't explain spell slots to you because you're a rogue.
Yeah.
But typically, you get to use 3 level 1 spells.
Yeah.
Per
depending on your class.
Per session. In order to get them back, you have to do something called a long rest. That means going to sleep for 8 hours, and then you get all of your spells back.
Yeah.
Every time I see someone take damage, I get to recharge one of my spell slots automatically.
That's good.
If he has no expended first level spot, he can choose to instead cast Hunter's Mark on that creature without consuming a spell slot as a reaction. So meaning, let's say I'm already full up on spells.
Yeah.
If I see someone hit you, I can then cast Hunter's Mark for free on them. So that when I attack them next, I can do damage and then bonus damage. Right, it's a retaliation kind of thing.
That's cool.
So you'll get items on occasion.
What are the items specific for the certain characters that you get, or
Nick made these specifically for us. Well, in the game, yes, there are magical items that are in the game.
Oh, so individually, there's different.
Yeah, Nick, it's how creative the DM wants to be. Nick created these these rewards as for completing the campaign. We got these for the most part.
You can create your own.
Yeah, you can do anything you want in D&D.
That sounds cool.
You can create the.
I could even I could think maybe what's it called? Like armor that's for like a magical armor for rogues.
There are
that give them like extra dexterity and armor.
There are people out there that create books that give dungeon masters ideas on. It's just hundreds of pages of different items that people have come up with that dungeon masters can use to help. Oh, I like that one. Let's go and put that in the campaign. People have done that. The Storm King's Thunder was written by somebody, right? Ooh. You can, if you want, create your own dungeon, your own campaign. It's going to take a while because you have to come up with the map, come up with the NPCs, come up with the quests, come up with what if the party tries to do something crazy and just murder everyone? What am I going to do now? You have to come up with what ifs for everything when you're doing that. Okay, so and even then, I've never DM'd before, but Nick has spent a lot of time preparing for this particular campaign. It's a lot of work. So you can create your own campaigns, you can create your own items. The DM he's the king. He has full control. Yeah, he can add what he wants. You can use items that are in D&D or create new ones.
Can you just magically add new things from the map for no reason?
He could if he had one in our last campaign. We actually came across a location that he did not finish yet. So on the fly, he just made up a scenario in his head and then created it for us. Oh, okay. It was a zombie attack. We were attacked by all these skeletons and stuff. Okay. It was really cool. I don't know the campaign, the Fandelver campaign, and know what really should have happened. But he was not ready for it yet. We went somewhere where he didn't expect us to go and had to come up with something on the fly. Okay. He stalled asking us questions but we were playing around with animals and stuff. And while we were doing that, he was coming up with the scenario in his head. So yeah, you can just come up with stuff on the fly.
That sounds cool. Yeah. I never the thing about D&D is I've heard people play it before, especially even Big Bang Theory. Did they play it?
They played D&D somewhat in the Big Bang Theory, but episodes were only 25 minutes long, so it's not like they could do it. You also saw it in Stranger Things.
Stranger Things,
with the Gorgon. Demogorgon, yeah.
I got that from Dead by Daylight. Okay. Stranger Things got licensed for Demogorgon.
Yeah.
And
we've never fought
trivia on Stranger Things. That's what they got the name, was from D&D.
We've never fought a Demogorgon.
Demogorgon.
Yeah, we've never fought one. We fought
Demogorgons look completely different from all in the show.
Yeah, I'm sure it's a separate campaign. But there are, if you Google D&D monsters, you'll get a full list. If you Google class, here's a quick look at all the different races, and we chose the Wood Elf because of that. Those bonuses there. These are some extra bonus races that you could pick. Goblins and bugbears, and these are races that you might see.
Dragon?
Tabaxi is what Sunset is, the other damage dealer. She's a cat. She can climb trees, she's got claws, she's got feline agility, so she can run really far. She's really good at that. So yeah, there's all these different races in here. But some of these are unique to particular campaigns.
Oh, okay.
But I think the Wood Elf is a good choice for you. It's basic and it's
part of it helps rogues out, and it's just a good class in general.
Yep. So yeah, I think we're ready for tomorrow, minus a couple of small things, but I think we got the groundwork. I took screenshots and sent them to you in Discord, so when we're ready. But yeah, folks. So yeah, there you go. I know this is kind of long-winded, but we're kind of excited. I mean, it's weird. I didn't think that he'd have an interest in Dungeons and Dragons, and out of the blue, here we are. So it should be interesting. So, all right, folks. Stay tuned. If you guys haven't already, subscribe to me on Twitch and YouTube. That way you can stay up to date with any new content I'm going to publish. This is Vince and Vinny Jr. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you guys next time. Take care.
Next time.